So I am Cullen Ryan, the Executive Director of Community Housing in Maine, or CHOM, and we are an organization that provides supportive housing to homeless and special needs populations, and we're all around the state. And we, although we're quite small, there's actually 8 staff, not all of whom are full-time. We are actually the largest supportive housing provider in the state, as far as we can tell. And the way that we do this and cover so much area is entirely through collaboration. So we collaborate with service provider organizations. We specialize in housing, and we own and maintain that, and we try to make sure that it constantly communicates dignity and respect to anyone who would live inside and would feel proud to call it their home. And then we collaborate with service providers to make sure that everyone who lives inside this housing does feel like it's their home, and we're able to engineer success. And so we're technically a landlord, but we're much more of a social service agency with a huge mission. And so we house some of the most challenging populations and most vulnerable populations in the state, including chronically homeless populations, folks who've lived outside for 15 years, and all kinds of other. We're the largest housing provider for victims of domestic violence, for homeless veterans, homeless Native Americans, and we have 35 different organizations with whom we collaborate, and that's sort of growing. So that's our supportive housing end, and that's the main focus or core of our mission. The second area is advocacy. We do a lot of advocacy work to try to tie the state together so it speaks as one voice around homelessness. We're working on improving the continuum of care for folks with intellectual and developmental disabilities as well. And through that end, I chair the Maine Coalition for Housing Quality Services, which started out as a group of parents of folks with intellectual and developmental disabilities, has grown to include provider organizations, clearly folks with intellectual and developmental disabilities, but also DHHS, special education, transition specialists, and advocates, and other parties. So it's grown to about 4,000 participants that are involved in this.
4,000?
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
And I have an email listserv that goes out to about 1,000, and when there is an action alert, it sort of wakes up about 15 different other organizations that are doing different things, like Autism Society of Maine, for example. And they've got a large list, and they then forward all these emails out, and we get lots of letters going to the state legislature, or the governor, or to Maine Housing, or whatever else. We hold a whole series of these actions since we started in 2006 to help to set policy, things in the right direction. So that group, like I said, it's remained since 2006, but it seems to have a lot of energy in terms of rewriting this continuum of care. And right now, that is what started out with a white paper in 2009 has evolved to where it's been adopted by the LD 1816 Developmental Services Work Group, and it seems like this model is quickly gaining traction and likely to be implemented, that basically takes the individual and meets them where they're at, meets he or she exactly where he or she is, and make sure that folks receive the services they need, no more, no less, and that it's flexible and accommodates them throughout the lifespan or even cycles that happen. And it's designed to pull in as many natural supports as possible. So the idea is that people with intellectual and developmental disabilities would be able to engage with every natural support that's within the community would become open to them. That's there's strategies about how to make that happen, from public service campaigns to get communities to be more welcoming and being more inclusive, to getting family members more involved. And right now there's ironic things where a sibling can't be programmed with a sibling. That's exactly what you want to have happen, is to have the continuity and additional support. But it does that, and the white paper that we wrote challenged the system to change the Section 29 section of Maine Care to work more like Section 21, but light, and be more of a
call has been terminated, please contact your moderator and verify the time.
Be more of a wraparound service. And that seems to be gaining traction. The LD 1816 version takes that out, but we're starting to hear of the department embracing this idea of making Section 29 not only more flexible, but also sort of the baseline of services to start from there, and then we figure out who then needs Section 21 above and beyond that. So that's them into things, and so well, I do a whole lot of things on homelessness, but I don't think you guys probably want to hear that as much. But
actually, I think we do.
oh, you do? Okay, all right. So I'm on the all 3 regional homeless councils, and I've been on the statewide homeless council since it began, and then I'm also involved in both continuous care. And I end up leading groups down to DC for the National Alliance on Homelessness